Welcome back to Mornings on 2. The experiences we have when we're young impacts our life. Family structures and the way we talk to our kids can impact their behavior in the future as well. A new study takes a look at co-parenting and child development. Joining us this morning is Professor Sarah Schoppe-Sullivan, who directs the Children and Parents Lab at Ohio State University. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So co-parenting, really an important term right now, right? There's so many multi-generations helping raise kids, single parents, blended families, so many configurations of family. So how does co-parenting, good, bad, challenging, play a role in the child's behavior now and in the future?
Yeah, sure. So co-parenting, can involve, as you point out, parents who are, married or living together, and both the biological parents of the child, but it's not limited to that. I mean, basically, the key principle behind co-parenting is that most children are parented by more than one adult at any given time in their lives, right? And so how those individuals are able to coordinate their parenting roles, what sorts of tasks or jobs they do with respect to parenting, and kind of stay on the same page and be more cooperative versus getting into a lot of parenting conflicts. We know that that is important for having children with fewer behavior problems, fewer emotional problems, both when they're young and into the future. Studies that follow kids over time show that.
Co-parenting, when the two parents are present and together, is hard enough as a challenge. Do you have any advice for parents who are dealing with two households, and they're truly co-parenting in a split relationship and the kids are going back and forth?
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is try to set aside differences, personal differences that you have, and try to keep open lines of communication, I would say, about how you want to raise those children together. It doesn't mean that you always have to agree, because that's probably not going to happen, especially in that kind of situation. But you have to be able to resolve those disagreements amicably and in a mature fashion, so that you can recognize that your child is going to have somewhat different experiences in different households. That's kind of impossible to avoid, but that if there are conflicts that come up, that you're able to resolve those without, getting really hostile or involving the children in them directly.
I would imagine there's some benefits too with going to different households, or having the grandparents, say, involved, or other family members. What are some of the benefits of maybe these kids experiencing different parenting styles?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and one we often don't think about. I think that children from a very young age, they learn that, different people, they have different relationships with different people. Their relationships with, say, even like mothers and fathers are not identical. And they quickly figure out, like, how this person expects me to behave, how they expect our relationship to go. And so I think it's perfectly, fine and even potentially beneficial, if they have a different experience there are different rules at, grandma's house, or different rules at, an aunt's house or dad's house or something like that. To a certain extent, like, it helps them navigate that and figure that out, because they're not going to be living in one environment their entire lives, right? They're going to have to be able to adapt and adjust. And so as long as those are all within reason and all of these parties, have the child's, best interests at heart, I think that can be a beneficial experience for children.
And maybe before you go, some advice for when kids, their behavior is impacted. They're not adjusting well to the different households or parenting styles. What's some advice for that?
I mean, I think that a really great first point is to talk to your pediatrician. Make sure that even as life gets chaotic, that you, as it always does with families and kids, but that you keep up with those regular visits. And pediatrician is a great first point of contact, or even a school counselor, to bring up, hey, something doesn't seem like it's going right. And those individuals can usually provide some good advice and connect parents to resources, and give them referrals and things like that that might be helpful to figure out if it's just a temporary thing, an adjustment to a transition, or if there might be something more, persistent going on there with the child.
It takes a village. Communication, probably number one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Sarah Schoppe-Sullivan, Ohio State University. Thank you. Great advice.